Here we are. My whole Christmas for the past 4 years always is me standing here starting the event. So I'm glad we're here, and thank you so much for coming out today. I think for the past 4 years, every time I've done this on a Saturday, it's been a bit gloomy outside. So all the more reason that I'm really pleased you're here, because what else are you going to be doing, really? So thank you very much. I really appreciate you taking the time to come out. You know, it takes a lot of commitment for you to come out and put 3 hours out of your day to come and listen to this. So thank you very much. I love this event. I went to one similar myself several years ago, and at the end of it, I said to the chap who was presenting and running the course, I hope you don't mind, but I want to steal this idea and use it myself. And he said, go for it. So I mean, I tell you now, this is not, the concept is not mine. But over the past 4 years, I've kind of made it my own. And whilst his theme was the best year yet, mine's evolved to be the happiest year yet. Because over the past few years, my self-development has come from helping other people be the happiest they can be, regardless of the size of their clothes, regardless of the number on the scales. Just be happy, and then the rest of your life follows suit a lot easier. Now, I'm really pleased today because there's lots of people who I don't know here. So I'm going to give you a little bit of an introduction as to who I am and what I do, and basically why I do it. So my name is Heidi Strickland-Clark. I'm an award-winning fitness instructor, and I own and run FastTrack Fit Camp. It's a large independent bootcamp business based in Berkshire, but effectively, if you're thinking bootcamp, mud, ropes, army, we don't do that. We've taken the indoor gym group fitness and taken it outside. And I've done that because it helps people to feel better and just to feel good in themselves. And we get a lot of people saying, I feel so much better. They can't put a number on it, or they can't quantify it, but they just feel so much better. And that's a huge thing for someone to feel. There's a lot of pressure on us now to always be pushing. So if you can feel better, then I think that's great. At FastTrack Fit Camp, we do this through effective outdoor group fitness. There's no equipment, no music. And although I used to say no fancy lycra, actually, those people, if you don't know, are members who come already. If you're thinking, why are they laughing? We have a big thing on snazzy leggings now. And so the brighter the leggings, the better. But if you don't have snazzy leggings, that's fine. So we help people to feel better. We do it with outdoor exercise, practical food advice, nothing faddy. I believe in health through food, and I really want you to get that in your mind today. And we do it in a really kind and supportive environment. And I feel very lucky that I have been lucky enough to find something which I truly love to do. I don't go to work. I have a career and a love. But the people who come to us are very kind and supportive, and it makes my job so much easier. So if you are new to me and you don't know who I am, and you're new to FastTrack Fit Camp and you don't know what we do, there are plenty of people in this room today who will be able to talk to you about their experience. And one of my proudest things is not only that we've been running for over 7 years, that was never the plan. The plan was to stop teaching fitness and wearing myself out 25 times a week in front of other people in the gym. And now here we are 7 years later, and I've got a really lovely business. But also, we still have in our membership the person who came on day one. And so for me, that is really amazing. So thank you very much for that, Duncan. There are many ways you can keep in touch with us. We're on Facebook. You may have seen me on Facebook occasionally, you never know. I have a Twitter account, not so busy on there, and we have an Instagram account. So you can keep in touch, and you can keep in touch with us today. You can quote things that you like, or you can just say that you've enjoyed it. So, as we go through the morning, some of the pictures that you're going to see on the screen are what makes me happy. I love a sky. I love a sunset. And when I drive to Henley on a June morning to go and see my early risers, and I see that on the side of the road, I have to stop and take a photo, because frankly that's quite stunning and makes you completely grateful to be alive. So any pictures that are big on the screen are pictures that have made me happy for the past 12 months. And I want you to start thinking about, if you looked at your phone, what pictures would you see? Because if you're in any doubt as to what makes you happy, it's the pictures on your phone that will tell you. There's an aside to that. If on the pictures on your phone are signs that are spelt wrong, broken things, people being miserable, that says a little bit more about you and what you're projecting out to the world. So you're either picking up on things, you don't like this stuff, and maybe your life isn't going as well as you'd like. And so I'd ask you to start thinking about that. Look at your photos, see what's making you happy. And if you looked at my photos, it would just be picture after picture after picture of fit campers in their groups, Sunday mornings, doing press-ups, doing mountain climbers, doing things they hate doing at the time but love it when they've finished. And you'll see lots of skies and lots of water as well. So why am I running this event? It's a brilliant opportunity in January to refocus. I'm not particularly keen on New Year's resolutions. They don't even last to the 15th for most people, and then they get disheartened and they get into this cycle of thinking, I'm useless, I'm rubbish, I can't do anything. And I'm done with that. I'm done with it, and I'm done with it for you as well. And one of my really big observations this year was to not think of myself as being in the health and fitness industry anymore. I don't want that. I don't want that label, because the label is not a good one. There's so many people who are on a cycle of losing weight, gaining weight, losing weight, gaining weight, and this constantly affects your brain that makes you feel that you're not good enough. And you are good enough. Your worth is not determined by the number on your clothes or the number on the scales. And I hope that by what I do and how I share with people, they start to realise that. It's not a quick fix. If you've been feeling like this for years and years and years, it's going to take a long time to unravel. But if you can start to unravel it and you can start to realise where some of these things are coming from, then you're moving forward, and that's really what I want for you. So I like the idea of focus. Rather than resolution, focus. What are you going to focus on? What's important to you? What makes you happy? What if you did something about it would change your life? And we're going to talk about that today. All right, and we're going to talk about how you can identify what to focus on, and we will focus on one aspect of it today that you are going to commit to and do something with over the next 90 days and over the next 12 months. Now, this is completely up to you. If you do that, you can just sit there, twiddle your thumbs and listen to me, and you can go away and do nothing. That's fine. I've got no axe to grind on that either. But if you can commit to doing one thing that might change your life, then you will see in 12 months' time how your life has changed. And I'm hoping that as we go around the room later, you'll hear have some people how their lives changed last year. This time last year, I was stood in another hotel, but doing this event, and I didn't have my own plan. I didn't know what I wanted last year. I was just kind of knew that something was coming, but I had no real goal for it. And so I kind of drifted through the year, and one of the things that came up and really bit me on the bum and took me by surprise and made me feel good and worthy was that I won an award. And one of my values, and we'll talk about values today, but one of my true values is integrity. And I feel especially chuffed with this award in that I know that the people who voted for me were people who I have had dealings with. I didn't at any point send emails to all of my contacts and say, vote for me, vote for me, vote for me. I said, vote for me if I've helped you. And so the fact that I won makes me feel really, truly pleased. And so I won the most elegant title, Muddy Stilettos Award. It's a blog and it's the Muddy Stilettos Best Instructor Award. And it just made me realise that what we do is important. And although it was for me, it's actually Fit Camp. Thank you, Helen. Although it's for me, actually, I couldn't have got that award without Fit Camp. I couldn't have done it because I know so many people now who I've helped. We've helped over 1,200 people over the past 7 years. So the fact that I have got Fit Camp means it's a Fit Camp award. And so this time last year, no idea that was coming. By June, there's me in a dress. Fancy that. And in actual fact, I was going to wear that dress today, but I thought that would look really weird. So I didn't. So what have we achieved? I'm going to give you a few minutes. So this is where you're going to have to do something, Jilly. I sent out that email saying, please bring pens, and Julie replied with, you mean I've got to do something? Yes, you're not just going to sit there. So what I'd like you to do for a few minutes is just scribble down All the stuff that you achieved last year, whether you planned it, you hadn't planned it or not. Just write it down, anything. It could be that you got a new pet. It could be that your kids did something you asked them once. It could be that you lost weight, you went on a holiday. I don't care what it is. Quickly, 2 minutes, write down all the things that you achieved last year. Off you go. Okay, you always know when people have stopped writing when it starts to get a little bit noisier. So what I'd like you to do now is turn to the person next to you. If you don't know them, quick introduction, who you are, and then share with them what you achieved. Just choose 1 or 2 things that you're really proud about achieving last year. If you are not doing the speaking, zip it. Don't say a word. Don't go, well done, don't go, hooray, that's amazing, don't ask questions. I want you to watch them. Watch their face, watch their body language, watch how they tell you. Just let them effuse. So give them 1 or 2, and then the other person does the same thing, expresses what they did, the other person zips it and watches, and then I'll give you a little chance just to discuss, all right? So you're going to have about 5 or 6 minutes to share, listen, and then discuss. All right, off you go. Lady here. Are you together? Yeah. Okay, so. Yeah. Is that all right? Thank you.
Who's the girl in the black and white stripy top on the end of the road just behind me?
Don't know.
Well, she came up to me and said, "Hello, Dale, and how are you?" and chatting away.
Oh, Jenny. Yes, I can. It's Jenny.
Who is she?
Jenny Mitchell.
Why does she know me?
Christmas dues.
Oh, okay. She's just a camper.
Yeah.
Okay.
Finish up what you're saying. Finish up, finish up, finish up. Thank you. I love that bit because everyone's so excited to share that the noise is really lifted. Was there some good stories there? There's some good stuff, inspiring stuff. So what I'd like you to do now is thinking about maybe what you heard and what you saw in the other person. I mean, first of all, what was their body language like when they were telling you? Was it up? Were they smiling? Were they kind of full of enthusiasm? Were they kind of flushed around the cheeks and their eyes were bright? That's someone who's excited and they really are proud of what they achieved. So what I want you to think about now is what happened for you? What did you have to put in place, with or without realizing, that made you achieve the result you got? Write this down, not sharing, you're just writing this down. What did you do? How did you get to that point? Did you get to the deepest depths of despair? Were you not looking to achieve what you achieved at all and it just came to you by accident? Just start to see there's a pattern for you around some of the things that you achieved and did well at. And whilst you're writing, if you wrote at one point, because I decided to, why? Why? Why did you decide to do whatever it is that you did? What was so important that you changed what you were doing to get the result that you got last year? Think about the people that helped you, the mindset that you had around it, and whereby you had to change your habits to such a point that you were doing things you'd never done before to get the result you wanted. Because that must have been what's happened for you to have got the result you wanted. Now I know in this room there are a lot of big wins last year. I'm lucky and privileged like that, and I'll tell you a little secret now, and I'm probably doing myself out of a job here. But if you've ever got any inkling that you've got a goal, don't ever tell me, because I will be on you. I will be on you, reminding you that this is what you want, that you've shared it with me is enough. I've had people tell me that one day they'd like to write children's storybooks. It's in there. I know her. I shall get her one day. Somebody else said they wanted to leave their job and retire early. It's in there. I'm going on this. If you've got something in you that you're thinking you want to do, it's strong enough that you've thought about it, so why don't you pursue it? So that's a little tip. If you don't want me pushing you, don't tell me what you want, all right? So on that basis, we have some people in this room who've done some amazing things this year, and I'm sure you will hear from some of them. But one of my best photos last year was this one. This is a bunch of fit campers, mainly fit campers, they're not just fit campers, who the year before mainly had gone through a 12-week programme where they had changed their behaviour, changed their eating, got their mind in the right place to realise that they could do something different. And at the end of that 3 months, it was like, well, what next? Let's do something else. And my thing was then stop focusing on your weight, stop focusing on your clothes size, go and do something else that means that you can be healthy and fit. The 3 peaks were born. And originally it was going to be the what they call the national 3 peaks, Wales, England and Scotland. But actually, in the end, it became the Yorkshire 3 peaks. It's a mammoth task. 26 miles, I think, I'm right in saying. And if you can do it in under 12 hours, you're the top of it. We had 2 teams go out, and one of them got round a bit quicker than the other for various reasons. But that second team, Facebook, you could feel the energy as we were waiting for them to tell us they'd made it. It was like, have you heard? Have you heard? Have you heard? No, I haven't heard. And eventually they got in, which is why it's dusky, which is why it's a little bit blurry, but that is faces of some very happy people who walked 26 miles up and down hill. This isn't a flat, this isn't like the London Moonwalk. This is up and down hills. And there'll be somebody in this room who at some point, I'm sure today, will tell you about their experience on that hill. So that's one of my memories from last year. They did a good thing. And on the side note, they're planning one for this year. So if you want to do something with them, Sharon's here. She'll be able to help you get involved if you want to. Does anybody, though, want to share something amazing from last year? Don't forget, I know you. Vanessa. Come on, Vanessa. Do you want to share what you wrote on your card last year?
I wanted to skydive.
You wanted to skydive? And when did you skydive, Vanessa?
November the 11th.
She knows skydived on November the 11th. Now, I'm not going to share any personal details here, but Vanessa, there was a condition for the skydive, right? Did you meet the condition?
No.
Did it matter? So whatever you've got in your head that's stopping you, probably isn't stopping you. Vanessa had a condition. How long have we been talking about skydiving?
Years, a couple of years.
2 or 3 years. Every year, I want to do the skydive. I want to do this skydive. Go on then, go and do it. But I've got to do this first. I've got to do this first. Got to this year. We were talking in September, October, weren't we? Are you going to do it this year? Rob, I really want to. Well, you know what? The weather's not great at the end of the year for skydiving. Went on the first day, and what happened? It was rained off. So you got there, did the training in the suit?
No.
Didn't get in the suit.
6 hours with the kids and husband.
Yep, 6 hours there, nothing happened, come home. And we're in November now. This is not a good time to go skydiving. 4 days later, week later.
5.
5 days later, beautiful sunny day, dropped the kids off at school, drove to, where was it? Surrey. Salisbury, drove to Salisbury as you do, put a suit on, went up in a plane, jumped out the plane, got home before lunchtime. So job done. Anybody else? Anybody from this group who wants to share their experience before signing up for it and then actually having accomplished it? Jan. Nia has got a microphone just so that everyone can hear. She's going to come down just so you can talk into it. So Jan is...
I've made that noise before, funnily enough.
I think
Go with that or not?
Is it off? Or is it on? Speaking to
I got a teacher voice, I can project.
Oh, there we go. I can
This is my one job of the day, so
So
let
Jan,
I think the biggest thing was to start believing in myself. That
Yeah.
if I set my mind to it, I'll do it. And I was...
and what did you feel at the end?
And if I could walk through things, I could tackle my next challenge, which was to start believing in myself to get a new job.
Yeah. And what happened last year? Yay! You know, so all these things are linked. It doesn't come down to we're doing a size 14 or a size 12 pair of jeans. It doesn't matter. You can just go and do it. You can do whatever you want. And I think that if you're not happy now, you're not going to be happy when you're in your size 12 jeans. Be happy now. Do the things you want to do now. Find a way. There's always a way. Stop waiting. And then these other things will happen. It makes you realise what you're capable of. Thank you very much. Anybody else? One more. Fine. It's fine. I'll get you later. All right. Thank you very much. So, you look at your list. Do you see a kind of pattern, or do you realise what you did to achieve the goals that you wanted to achieve last year? I hope so. I hope you can start to see that there was a few things you had to put in place. One of the things I wanted to do last year was to run my second outdoor weekend event for campers. And we'd done one 3 years ago, and we took Karen, if you know Karen Burles, and I took 3 years ago, 10 people to Somerset for the weekend. It was lovely, we looked after them. 10 people are quite easy to look after, they're manageable, they can be one group. This year, it was amazingly popular. We ended up taking 25 people to the New Forest. This is a completely different job when you've got 25 people, and the place that you're catering for these people in have one cup, one plate, one knife, one fork, one glass for everybody. That's it, there's no spares. So if somebody took a glass to their bedroom, we knew. And no dishwasher. So this is one of my favourite memories from last year. The weather was amazing. We had a wonderful weekend. The scenery was fabulous. My mum was brilliant at washing up endlessly. And we had people there who were stepping outside their comfort zone. Just for coming, first of all, sharing a room with somebody you don't know is a big deal. Doing stuff that you don't know what you're going to have to do is a big deal. And then when we were there, they didn't know what I was going to set up for them. So on one day there was rock climbing. Well, you should have seen their faces on the Friday night. There was no way they wanted to do rock climbing. But by the end of the weekend, half of them had rock climbed, half of them had fenced. And then on Sunday, it was sneaky. We arranged for a big mass raft building exercise, and they were all weekend going, I hope we don't do raft building. I really can't bear raft building. Oh God, we're raft building. And they trumped down to the lake. Literally, the body language was really not good, and they skipped back to the house. They said it was the best exercise they did. It was so funny, and that was our last day. So now you might be thinking, look at all those women. No. It's Eamon. He's the husband of one of them, but he was the only man amongst 26 women. What an epic fella he is. Okay. That one's for you, Jilly. So what I want you to do now is to think about, rather than the things you didn't do last year, I want you to write down one sentence in your book. I should. Just write the words, I should. And write it one under the other 3 or 4 times. So you've got I should.
What, 3 I shoulds?
3 or 4 I shoulds.
But this year, what was this?
No, just don't say anything yet. Just write I should. Nothing else. I should. And now I want you to, using your intuition, don't think about this, just the first thing that comes to your head, you're going to write down 3, 4 or 5 things that you, little voice in here, is saying I should to all the time. Write it down, I should. Stop at 3 or 5. If you've got 26 in your head, just stop. All right, just stop at 3 or 5. The ones that probably you play the most over and over are the ones that will come up first. Don't try and doctor this. What I want you to do today is start to really listen to your inner voice, your intuition, something that I learnt this year. I mean, I was kind of on it already before, but this year really did learn that lesson. As a very quick aside, whilst you're writing, for those of you who are into Star Wars, this was a view from the top of one of the Irish mountains, Mount Brandon. Last year, my pink-haired friend here and I went climbing up it last year. But this island here is where they did a lot of filming for Star Wars. And I can't remember much about it. I'm afraid I'm not a Star Wars nerd. But the Irish community there had the most amazing experience with the film crew being in, and they're going back to do some of the next one as well. So if you're interested in that, you may want to think about that next time you see the film. Okay. Now what I want you to do, this is very important, please listen. Turn to your partner and then read them aloud the I shoulds. Trust them, all right? We're in a safe space here. If there's something that is very personal, you can't share it, that's fine. Just choose ones that you can. But I want you to turn to your partner and read out loud, I should. Say your thing. And then when you finish saying the first thing, your partner says, why? And then come up with this spontaneous reason why you think you should do it. And then you do your second, I should, and your partner says, why? And you answer. And this why comes from the heart. It's just whatever you think this means to you. Right? There's no right or wrong answer here. Person who says why, that is all you say. You don't judge it, you don't question it, you don't say but, you don't say, oh no, really? None of that. All right, just why. Can we just practice? Can you just say why? Thanks, okay. So do 3 shoulds. The first person does 3. If you haven't got 3, do 2. If you haven't got 2, do 1. If you've got 20, choose the top 3. Do 3, then immediately swap. All right? And then you can have a little bit of a discussion about it. All right? Off you go. Okay. Finish up. Have you all shared? Has it gone both ways? Yep. Okay. Has it gone both ways? You shared at least one or two with each other. Perfect. You may have discovered that actually a lot of people have very similar shoulds that they think they should be doing. There's, if you've heard of Tony Robbins, he's one of the big self-development gurus in America. And I kind of first got into self-development and looking at myself in a different way when I was about 41. I was feeling incredibly overwhelmed and overworked and not happy. And I had told myself I was so busy that I didn't have time for anything, but managed to find time to scroll through Facebook, find a blog post that spoke about being successful every day or being happy, and it took me to an audio download from Tony Robbins. This audio download was 90 minutes long, and for somebody who didn't have any time, it took me no time at all to listen to this. And I can't tell you much about that audio apart from it had a profound impact on me. But there were two things in there which he said which have just stuck with me, and I think really were the seed that has germinated ever since. And the first thing he said was, we're always saying should, we are shoulding all over ourselves. All right, so take that how you like, given we've got some children in the room. But also the other thing he said, which it's like what runs through me like a piece of rock now, is that what's wrong is always available, but so is what's right. And that one sentence, it changed it for me. I suddenly thought, it's exactly right. I'm always feeling miserable, always feel like I'm overworked, but actually there's plenty of opportunities for me to feel good and not to work and to feel happier about things. And it may not work for you. You may find something else further down the line that works for you, but that one sentence, what's wrong, is always available. Your kids will always drive you mad. Mine are 23 and 21. They still drive me mad. When Sophie went back to Leeds on Wednesday, I was relieved. All right, I mean, that's, I love her desperately, but she is not me and I am not her, and she had to go. For those of you who know my children, they are externalizers. They talk everything. Everything has to be spoken about all the time, and they think their thoughts. And Dad and I are internalizers, and we think and we process and we cogitate, and I don't need them rabbiting on. So Sophie's gone back to Leeds, but if you don't know me, then I've done even better with Laura. She's in New Zealand, so. Love them to bits, but they are at the end of Skype, so it's fine, all right. So, what's wrong is always available, but so is what's right. That one thing really changed for me. And changing your shoulds to coulds is going to be just as powerful for you. So you're going to turn back to your partner, and this time what you're going to do is you're going to replace should with, if I really wanted to, I could, blah, 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 blah. And then once you finish the sentence, your partner will say, so why haven't you? And speak it. Just let your words flow. Because you might say, because I don't want to. Great, let it go. If you don't want to, let it go. Stop this anguish in your head the whole time. We waste so much energy processing and thinking about stuff that we don't want to do. So, please remember, partners, it was very noisy for only half the group speaking. Partners, so why haven't you? Zip. You answer your 2 or your 3, then swap, and then you can discuss. See what happens when you say, if I really wanted to, I could clean my bathroom every week. All right, see what happens. Off you go, a few minutes.
to have the seats arranged in pairs as well, because we've got fives,
Oh,
which doesn't make a good setup for pairing.
let's think of that. Okay, finish up what you are sharing. Finish up sharing. So how many people realise that they got something they can just bin? Some stuff you can bin? Good. I was observing as you were doing that, and I could see that when people were asked, so why haven't you? There was a big deep breath. And your ego came in to try and find the right answer for you. But actually, you know the answer. It's there, it's already in your head, you just didn't want to say it, and that's fine. But if there was something else that you didn't want to share with your partner, you need to go home and write that down. Really start to understand yourself, because there is no right or wrong for you. And we're going to talk about that more later. This is your life. I could talk cliches all morning if you want, but I know there's people in this room who've lost people last year, they've lost parents, they've lost friends to disease and old age. Your life is short, all right? Life is short. This is your life. You've got to do it for you. And if you make one change from today, that's a good thing, because that will have a knock-on effect that will change something else, and the ripples roll on and on and on. So if you paused and went, oh, I don't really know. Yes, you do. Be true to yourself. You do know. And if you think, I really don't know, Heidi, I just don't know, go home and just work on that one. Because if this should keeps coming up, it's in your head, it's bothering you, it's probably stopping you from achieving other things you want to do. And it might not be necessary, as Vanessa found out. You don't have to have everything in place for you to get what you want. So, if you were a procrastinator whilst you were thinking, leave the ego, listen to the heart, and see what comes up. And it might not be very nice. This time last year, when I had no plan, I had no idea how my life was going to change last year. And one of the things that was in my head this time last year was that I was conscious that I was helping people fix a thing in that moment, lose weight, go down a clothes size, but then 6 months down the line they'd be back doing the same thing. And I didn't feel that they were a failure, I felt I was a failure, because something was missing. Something was missing from the process that wasn't quite right. And alongside at the same time, and actually it was in the 12-week Fit and Lean program of girls, not the girls who walked, but in that group we had a lot of illness. I mean, a lot of bronchitis, tonsillitis, colds. It just seemed ridiculously high number of people for a small group of people that had so many conditions. And I was just like, what is going on? Is there something in their heads that's saying, actually, I don't want to change, and if I'm ill, I don't have to? That was my thought this time last year. Around May time, I thought I should do a course. I love learning, I love ongoing training, and I thought I would do a course on food. Food is my first love. I get to you by food with the exercise, all right? You might have noticed that. I mean, you come and do it for exercise through Fit Camp, and I hit you with my food stuff. But I like food, and I thought it'd be really nice to do a course on seasonal eating. There must be a course on that. I thought I will go and look for one. I typed in seasonal eating course on Google and was presented with a course for changing your life. And I thought, something's gone a little bit wrong on the algorithm there, so I did it again. And every time I searched, I kept being brought back to this one. It wasn't even the top end page for courses. It was the course in Birmingham in July. I mean, it's like it couldn't have been more precise. If it slapped me around the face, I wouldn't have obviously got it until I realised, okay, let me just look at this course. Let me see what it is that I need to learn. And this course basically said, we're going to talk about how your mind affects your decisions, your body, your illnesses, all that type of thing. Well, before you know it, I was on it, all right? Cut a long story short, I was on the course in July. And I went on the course so I could help other people. What a naive thing to think. It was a weeks-long residential course in Birmingham with 40 other people. You know that 24 women and 1 man? 37 women and 3 men on that course. And I cried every day. I cried every single day, my heart out, because I had to fix me first. And so by going on that course and finding out what my shoulds and coulds and baggage and crap I needed to get rid of, I left there thinking, now I need to help other people with this. And that shoulds and coulds exercise is just a little tiny snippet of that, and it makes you start realising that this voice in your head is stopping you from doing what you want to do. And that voice in your head has been there for longer than you know. That voice in your head may not even be your voice. It could be your dad's voice. It could be your mum's voice. It could be a teacher who once at school had a bad day themselves and told you were stupid. That message in your head has been going on for years, and that course really helped me discover this and opened me up to helping more people. So I hope that you've started to see already with that exercise, actually, I don't like this thing that I think I should be doing. I'm going to let it go. You will feel light and free. I can assure you of that if you can. You know, should sentences leave us feeling at fault if we don't do them? We feel we're to blame or somebody else is to blame. He should have done. Why should he? You don't know what his story is, why he didn't. And why should you have done it? Just accept where you are. You did the best you could. It's your life. You make your own choices. There's no shoulds. There's only ever coulds. I could if I wanted to. When you use a could sentence, you get choice, and I'm all about choice. I'm delighted you're here today, and you can't unhear what I've told you, but you don't have to do anything with it. You've got a choice now, though, haven't you? Because now you do know something different, and you can go and explore and find something else if anything is out there that you think might be of interest. Same with Fit Camp. I love FastTrack Fit Camp. I'm bound to. It's my business. But I completely appreciate that it's not for everybody. And some people love running, and some people love Zumba, and some people love netball, and some people love badminton. Great, go and do it. But if I can help you find that thing, then I've done a good job. Because there's enough people for me to come to Fit Camp. You know, at the maximum, at the most, if Fit Camp had 200 people, that would be plenty. 200 people, that's not even Winnersh. It's not even my close, really, where I live in Wokingham. So, you know, there's plenty of things for people to do. There's plenty of people for me to serve. We're abundant with choices. You have a choice. Okay. Let's move on. I'm sure you may be familiar with the Wheel of Life. Ooh, does that bring up a memory for you? I didn't realise it was going to get that reaction. And if you're not aware of it, it's got different sections on there. In the middle is 1, on the outside is 10, and you go to a life counsellor and they tell you to rate each of those parts of your life, 10 being amazing, 1 being rubbish, as to where you feel they are right now. And once you've drawn it, you get something like that maybe, and you can see where the imbalances are in life. I get it. It's fine, it's good, but it can be sometimes a little bit untrue. You know, you might not feel that you've answered it correctly, and it's only ever really true in that moment. And how often you're going to change it, and also what are you going to do with that? So I thought we'd do something different. I thought we'd use buckets. All right. So we've got buckets, and we're going to think about where we're going to focus our bucket. They're in no particular order, but these are the same from the Wheel of Life. So you've got your career. Now, if you're retired, you've probably still got a purpose. You might be into volunteering. You might be into helping old people or your neighbour. So if you haven't got a career at the moment, you've got your job or your purpose. You have your family. You have your friends and your social life. You have your health. You have fun. You have your values. You may have your religion or your spirituality, all right? So your values are the things that kind of dictate what you do, and around that there may be your religion or your spirituality. You have your love and relationships, and you have your finances. Just draw 8 circles or 8 buckets on your page, a brand new page. Write those titles above, below, or next to it. Sorry, say them again, of course. So we're going to start with career or your purpose. Family. Actually, I've got them. What am I showing them out for? There they are. All right, career, purpose, family, values, finances, health.
Can't spell friends.
There's also another one. I haven't got it. We've all got one. It's a black bucket. Your black bucket is your stress bucket. It's probably twice the size of all of these, and it's probably full. What I want you to do is, once you've written those down, your goal is to fill the bucket full of lovely stuff, and you're going to determine how well you're doing in each of these areas of your life by how you feel about it. That feeling of, yeah, that's really amazing. If Jilly, you're not at 10 on the pink one, I'm going to be very disappointed on your love and relationships. All right, so I mean, Jilly's getting married this year. You know, you'd like to think that that's at a 10. So how you feel about it, I want you to give it a general feeling as to where you feel you are right now. So imagine you're filling it up with water or bubbles or something lovely. The fuller it is, the better it is. The emptier it is, the poorer it is. All right? Yeah. So fill your buckets with where you are now. How full are they? Or just, is your bucket very full of love for your family? Yes is the answer. That's my mum. That's why she has to put family at number 10.
What else do you want me to
So if you have your fun bucket, how full is that in your life? How much fun do you get in your life? Catherine, not much? No? You need to fill your fun bucket. Oh, that's a car and that's a whole different matter. Listen, there's no right or wrong here. I can hear some of you tooting. Don't toot. This is just you drawing a line from one side of a bucket to another. All right, you can make the bucket bigger, you can make it smaller. Just roughly, how full are your buckets in each of these areas? Because sometimes the things that we think we should do are stopped by other things outside of that area. So for example, we're going to talk about my area because that's what I've got an interest in. People think they should lose weight. But actually, if they look at the rest of their buckets, where the finances aren't being managed properly, their relationship's not very good, they're not getting much fun in their life, you know, it's not surprising then that this has become a problem, but those things probably need filling first so that you can help your health and help you lose your weight. Do you see what I mean? I realised last year that food is the answer for most people. Food is not the problem. None of you have a food problem. You generally know, widely know what to eat to be healthy. You know that. I mean, even if you were eating Weight Watchers foods, I'm not particularly keen on those, but if you were eating those and you were just eating the portion it said, and you had your 5 portions of fruit and veg a day, and you had 2 litres of water a day, you would be okay. You'd be pretty okay. But we don't do that. So why are we not doing that? Because we've made food the answer to some of these problems. So your finances are crap, eat chocolate. Okay? The kids have really annoyed you. Have a glass of wine once they've gone to bed. So it's become the answer, it's not the problem. You're using it as the answer. So it may be that once you've looked at your buckets now and you realise that they're not as full in some areas as you'd like, that is an area that you can look at to address to bring your life into more balance. And balance is a really interesting word because there's this lovely thing being bandied around the internet about work-life balance. And I think for most of us we think that means like that. But am I balanced? Am I balanced? Am I balanced? You can be balanced whilst not being equal and symmetrical. So you could have a really heavy bucket here and a very light bucket here, but actually still be fairly balanced in that moment, which means that for then that's okay. But you just might need to bring it into some kind of alignment. So start thinking about what balance means for you. Because for some of you, balance might mean putting more into your work than into your fun for now. That's fine. Accept it and recognize it rather than moaning about it. If you're moaning about it and you need to change it, where does that need to shift to? Do you need to put more fun in? Do you need to change your finances so you've got more opportunities to do fun stuff? So start looking at your buckets, and what I'd like you to do is think about which one of those topics, which bucket you want to focus on today. Because you've probably noticed on your sheet, on your chair, you've got a sheet, and we're going to focus on a goal, a focus for the next 90 days. So for the next 90 days, I want you to focus on one of your buckets. And it can be health, it doesn't matter if it is. And if it's eating, that doesn't matter. But start to realise that that might not be the main cause of the problem. So decide on one of your buckets that you want to focus on working on for the next 90 days. You don't have to know what it is yet, you just have to know which thing it is you want to focus on. Has anybody got any buckets that are overflowing? Well, isn't that sad? Well, no one thought, actually I've got more than 10. Jilly, you got more than 10 in your love bucket? Yeah, see? Anybody at 10s on some? Good. Fabulous. Hands up if you've got some 10s. Excellent, thank you. How many 1s and 0s? Okay, fine. So we've got real extremes, and that's fine. How many are all the same throughout? You don't seem sure by that. You're sort of shaking your head as you're putting your hand up. Are you sure? 1. Are they all level all the way across? Lady at the back? They're level all the way? Yeah, kind of wobbly. Okay, that's fine. Is that good enough for you? Okay, so what, do you want to lift them up? Perfect. All right. So start recognizing this is your answers. Right? I mean, everyone's 1s and 6s and fulls and empties are going to be different. My half full is going to be different to your half full in terms of how it feels for me. For you, success might just be getting your kids to school in the morning with the right shoes on, the right socks and a PE kit. You know, success for me is getting more people into Fit Camp. So it works, you know, success is different. So think about what these mean to you and choose one that you want to work on. And then what I want you to think about is the one that you've chosen, is it going to require what you may think of as willpower to work on it? Because actually I don't want you to work on willpower. I want you to work on want power. I want you to want to change this so much that for 90 days you will. And if you think back to what you achieved last year and the things that you did to make that happen, can you apply that pattern to this thing enough to make you want it? And if you can't want it enough, find a new bucket. Otherwise you're not going to do it. And I want you to achieve it in 90 days. I want you to get to 90 days, and when I email you and say, how have you done? You're going to say, I've done it. So have you got enough want power around your bucket to make a change? The thing with willpower is that we can only use willpower for so long. Here is the prime example. Chocolates in the house. Most of us probably are fairly okay, some of us aren't, but fairly okay if it's unopened. It can sit in the cupboard, and actually you can let that be. That's fine because it's not been touched. But the minute it's opened, oh my God, it's just got to go, hasn't it? So that's, there's no point trying to use willpower around this because it's there and you're going to be challenging it, resisting it, and then it'll suddenly break and you'll think, I'm rubbish. That's no way to work. You want to feel better. You're going to want to do things. So keep chocolate out of your house if you know that your willpower is going to be stretched to the maximum, snapped, you're going to ping off in both directions and feel really miserable. So want power. How much want have you got for changing your bucket and filling it up? If you haven't got any want power, find another one. And if you're struggling with knowing what to focus on, one of the things that I'm offering today is that you can have a free 30-minute consultation with me. You can book it up with Nia or me at the end. There'll be next Saturday or Sunday. I forgot to give her the list. She's looking a little bit panicked. We'll sort it out. But next weekend, if you want to come and have a chat, there's no obligation for you to buy anything, to even do anything. But if you can just sit down and let me ask you a few questions, find out what it is that makes you tick, maybe we can find your want power for you to get your 90 days. So that's one of the things you can do. And if you're already thinking, I want to know more about Fit Camp, we always offer a trial week at Fit Camp for you to come and try it for people who've never been before. If you come today and if you express an interest today, I'll give you an extra week for free. All right, so 2 weeks at Fit Camp to see whether you like it or not. Failing that, if you're thinking, no, I can't do it, I don't like, my knees won't work, I've looked at your timetable, it's not for me, maybe you could be one of our netball team. Yeah. Did you know that FastTrack Fit Camp have their own netball team? We sponsor them, and the reason I sponsored them was that they were women like me. These are women, generally, they're a very mixed age group, but they're generally women in their 40s who like exercising, like being outside, like a glass of wine, like to eat well, and I support them. They're the fast trackers. Last year they went into Division 3, they're now in Division 2, and I'm happy to support them. But so if you're into netball, come and ask. I can put you in the right place as well. You don't have to play for them, but they have got other community teams as well. Scotland, I love that place. So, you have your bucket. I want you to start thinking around the beliefs you have around this topic. All right, so if we're talking about finances, for example, you've probably got some beliefs that you've heard over the years through the media, through your mum and dad. Maybe money is bad, money's the root of all evil, money doesn't grow on trees, and you've got all these messages you've heard. On the other, or that success is bad, rich people are nasty, I don't know, whatever. You might have heard lots of stuff. You might, on the other hand, have heard under maybe in the health side of things, that fat people are stupid. Or you've heard that if you're overweight, you can't do this. Or if you're overweight, you're going to die early. I don't know. All these messages that we are subjected to all the time will be in your head, and even if you're not aware of it, you'll be processing. You'll be aware of them. So what I'd like you to do is to think of the bucket that you've got and start thinking about what your beliefs are around that. Write down anything that you know that you can think of about money or about health or about family. Maybe for family, maybe you think that you should spend lots of time with your family, but you hate them. So that's a real dilemma, isn't it? That's a real dilemma. So start writing down what all these beliefs and understandings that you have around the topic that you want to focus on. All right, it might not be health. I know I'm a health freak and I will want it to be health. But if it's your money, write it down money. If it's love and relationships, write it down about that. So just start thinking all the stuff that you've ever heard. It's in the media, it's in magazines, you have to have a thigh gap, all that stuff. You have to have a push-up bra to be attractive. I don't know. You have to have white teeth, straight teeth, all of that stuff. I'll give you just a few minutes. Just empty your head. Anything. Even if it sounds stupid, write it down. Okay, so you've written down some things. Now what I want you to do is just in groups. It can be 2s or 3s or you're lined, or you can turn around and face the people behind you. Just share some of this stuff and actually ask yourself, is this true? Do I really believe this? Do I really believe that if I'm fat, I'm stupid, or whatever? Or that you have to work hard to earn money? I mean, start discussing this stuff and say to yourself, is this true? And if you don't believe it's true, take one of your pens and cross it out. Just cross out the things that it might be in your head, but actually they're not true. So quickly share with the person next to you all the things you've discussed. Is it true? You are? Cross 4 out? Yes. If it's not true, then yes. Okay. Bring it back. Bring it back, bring it back. Thank you. It's always a good one, this. Hello. Come on back, come on back, come on back. Thank you very much. It's quite nice doing that in a group because you get everyone else's perspective on what you think has been true before, and how many of you got lots of crossed out things. Hands up. How many got? Thank you. You got some crossed out stuff. It's not true. So once you can remove that, I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but if you realise it's not true, you can start to think in a different way. It's not true. You can do whatever you want, and it might be tricky, but if you can start believing that barrier is not there. Keep coming back to Vanessa. You'll see a picture of Vanessa soon. Another one of my favourite pictures of last year. The barrier when she did the thing, it was done. Imagine how quickly you could get what you wanted if you just let some of these beliefs go. Some of them would be really quick. It's just a case of booking, waiting for the right day, and floating, right? Within the topic that you have chosen, between now and the end of the morning, I want you to start thinking about a 90-day focus. We're not going for a year, but I want you to focus for 90 days, taking you to the end of March. I want you to focus on what you're going to do. 3 things only. Don't give me 4. That's the kind of person I am. If I ask for 3, I'll give you 5. No, I'm teaching you things that I need to learn myself. So 3 things that you're going to focus on that topic that you've chosen for 90 days. Now, this could be as tiny as drinking an extra glass of water every single day, or it could be, I'm going to save £1,000 towards my holiday, or whatever. It doesn't matter how big or how small it is, because it's up to you, all right? So I want you to start thinking about your 90-day focus. Start scribbling stuff down, start thinking about it, and whilst you're writing, carry on listening. Because for each of your focuses, I want you to ask yourself 2 questions. Do I believe I can make this happen? Do I believe this will happen? You have to say a resounding hell yeah to both of them.
Sorry, what was the second one?
Second one was, do I believe this will happen? So do I believe I can make this happen? Do I believe I can drink an extra glass of water every day for 90 days? Do I believe this will happen? That's not so good. All right, it's got to be 100% yes, I will make it happen. 3 things to focus on. If you've got 2, that's okay. If you've got 1, maybe it's too big and you don't want to overwhelm yourself, so break it down. Or are you really full in each of the buckets that we only need to work on 1? So if you've only got 1, do think about having something else to focus on. All right, so if you haven't written those questions down, I'll say them again. Do I believe I can make this happen? Do I believe this will happen? Because the first question is about belief. You have to believe that you can do it. And the second one is about responsibility. And one of my really strong things is that we take personal responsibility for everything. And I learnt that last year. I knew it anyway. But that voice that when you pause and don't answer, my ego was kicking in, saying, "Oh, it's somebody else's fault." But last year, I did a lot of reading of business books and self-development books. And there were some days where I would just spend all day reading a book, knowing that I wasn't working on the business. Now, you kind of kid yourself that that's okay, but actually, 4 weeks down the line, that isn't okay, because you haven't done anything. And I knew that, and I took personal responsibility for it. So you have to take personal responsibility for everything you do. If you are going on holiday with somebody else, and you are both going to be contributing to the pot, you both commit to 100% of the money, not 50%. Because if you both commit to 50%, you'll both manage 20. Both of you commit to 100, and suddenly you've got a full accountability and responsibility from both people pushing in the same direction. All right, so start thinking about, are you going to take responsibility for these 3 focus points? And if you're not, that's probably a bigger subject than from this morning, but ask yourself why, and then maybe think of something else that you can do. This should be challenging, but not impossible. Okay. Let's move on away from Scotland. So there's some getting stuff done, GSD, you can change stuff for something else if you like. Rules of engagement, all right? This is one of my most important things I need to say to you. It's never perfect. Just start. It's never going to be the right time. You'll never have enough money. It'll never be the right weather. You won't be the right weight. You won't have the right clothes. Your hair will be the wrong colour. Anything. It's never perfect. Just start. So start today. Because you've only got now, so start today. You don't know everything, and I am really teaching you stuff I need to remember myself, all right? They say teacher teaches what people need what they need to hear, and I am guilty of this, thinking I can do it all myself. I can't. You need people with other expertise. Ask people. You've met some people today, maybe they can support you, maybe they'll be your buddy. Maybe you need some help outside of this area. Maybe you need to speak to a financial advisor. Jill is here, she can help you. Maybe you need to speak to somebody who does charity work. Ali's here, she can maybe help you. There's lots of people in the room who I can pass you to for you to get extra support and help. It's better with friends than with people who are rooting for you. That's why the walkers did so bloody well. They had everyone behind them. They had all the Facebook group in FastTrack rooting for them. It's a good thing to have people helping you. Forget your willpower, you want power. If you don't want it enough, you're not going to do it. And that's fine, but accept it and find something that you really want. 1% effort is better than nothing. Because if you do 1% more every day, the compound effect is huge, really huge. So 1% of your day is 14 minutes. 14 minutes. Could you go for a walk? Could you meditate? Could you read? Could you write the email to somebody you've been meaning to for ages? 1% of your day is 14 minutes and 40 seconds. Are you telling me you can't put an extra 1% effort into something? Drink 1% more water a day, sleep 1% longer. It's minute, it's so minute you think it's worthless. Why am I even bothering? Because you do it consistently and the results will be huge. So I learned that if I did nothing in Fit Camp, nothing happened. Fancy that. But I also learned that if I put 1% effort in and I did a little bit of marketing every day, the results are massive. Put 1% in. It changes a lot. Remember, consistency, not perfection. It's never going to be perfect anyway. What is perfect? Your perfect's not my perfect. My perfect is Scotland. Your perfect could be London. It's never going to be perfect. Good man. He's shaking his head. I think you don't want London either. Remember, consistency. You just do it every day. It's like clockwork. You do it. There's some things you do without even thinking now. That's what this needs to be. You clean your teeth. You know when you've not cleaned your teeth. It feels wrong. Get to that point where you've not drunk enough water. Get to that point where you need to go for a walk or you need to get some exercise. Get to that point where you go, God, I need to meditate. I need to sit down and stop and take 10 minutes, 14 minutes out of your day, whatever. Forget what others think. I know that is so easy to say. I know that. But the more that we can practice that, the better and easier our lives will be. Who cares what they think? They're probably jealous anyway. And take full responsibility. Take full responsibility, even if you take full responsibility to not focus on that anymore and to go and do something else. Actually, it's not for me. I don't want this. I'm going to go in a different direction. I've been interested in nutrition for as long as I can remember. I went from Enid Blyton books to Delia Smith, and I really did. My junior school teacher told my mum and dad she needs to stop reading Enid Blyton. I loved them. So then I started reading recipe books, and I really did go from that. So food's been around me for a long time, and I was in my teens, so we're talking, just a few years ago? Back in the 80s, I became aware of a course by the Institute of Optimum Nutrition. Diane will know this. I knew about it then. Patrick Holford set it up, and I was obsessed. I was convinced I was going to do this diploma and become a nutritionist. And I even remember very clearly being in a house that Dale and I lived in Reading when we were very first together, and planning, I'm going to get married, have my children, and do the course. I planned it. I knew what I was going to do. That didn't happen. But about 6 years ago, I had the opportunity, when we just started Fit Camp, to go and do the course. And I had to do an access course first because my science skills weren't up to scratch and it was a long time ago. And so I went along and I got accepted. I did the first 2 months and I thought, what am I doing? I don't actually want to do this. All those years of thinking that's what I wanted to do, and I decided, no, I'm not going to do this. Money's gone, move on. And you know what, it's okay. I don't feel a failure. I feel glad that I'd done it, but I didn't have to complete it. There's no worry for me that I didn't do that. You can change your mind, all right? So remember, you can change your mind. And then this is the rules for success. Now, these are my rules, and if you... You might not look at the same stuff that I look on Facebook, but I get lots of kind of entrepreneur and success magazine blog posts. And there's always an article, 5 things successful people do every day. And I read them and I go, yeah, but that's the same as the last one. Oh, well, fancy. This is what these people do every day, so it must be true. Everyone works on their health. I'm bound to say this, it's bound to be number 1, but if you don't look after your health, you will not be in optimum shape, have optimum brain function, be able to do the things you want to do. Now, it's not going to stop you, but it might hinder you, all right? So start thinking about your health. Do you have good sleep habits? Do you have good mental health? Are you eating well? Are you exercising regularly? And do you like it? If you're going to exercise and hating every minute, there's no point in you going to that. Go and find something else. We need to take time for reflection and focus. We've got a lot of ladies in the room here today, and the professional terrain has changed drastically, even since I've been working. Women are way more in professional positions. They are probably, in many cases, the breadwinner, and they are responsible for also running the family as well. Stuff has shifted beyond what we ever remember it being for our parents. And it's a big responsibility. And I'm not saying taking that away from the men, but just that women have risen up to that too. We have to stop. Teacher, listen to thy lesson. All right, we have to stop and meditate. And you can do this for just a few minutes a day, but once again, make it consistent and regular. And if you like to listen to stuff, if you like apps and you like things, the app called Headspace is an amazing app. It's cheap, it's an English-speaking voice, he's got a lovely voice, it's in 10-minute chunks, it's kind of a pathway through, it's very simple, you can do it sat in your car at lunchtime, you can lock yourself in your room, my nurse friends at the front here, when there's no patients, and just do 10 minutes. Meditation is in everything that you will read about where people are successful. It is. Don't try and get away from it. Stop thinking you are Superwoman. You need to take some time to stop, reflect, and focus. You focus on what you want, and you're mindful of being in the now. Remembering that compounding your efforts will have the maximum results. The maximum result. Get this story wrong, because I don't have it in front of me. But if you were given the opportunity of having £1 million today, or a penny doubled every day for 30 days, what would you go for? You'd go for the penny. You'd wait 30 days. Because if you wait for 30 days and every day the penny doubles, says 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, blah, 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 you get over £10 million for waiting for 30 days, rather than just having £1 million on day 1. So compound your efforts. Constant, regular exercise will give you the best results. The other Heidi's in the room, she is testament to this. You go, you do it, you get results, and Claire too, Claire Whaling. Excellent, you go, you do it, it's done. Your body changes, your fitness improves. If you go a few times 1 week, miss it for 2 weeks, drink a bottle of wine because you feel sad about it, think about whether I should leave or not, shall I come back, oh, it's going to hurt, I don't think I'll leave it, oh, I really must go. You know, you've lost your momentum. Be consistent. We need some financial security. Now, this isn't that you need to be rich and rolling in money, but knowing that you are saving for yourself in terms of hardship or in terms of emergency is really key. And you can read lots of books on this. They say pay yourself first, pay yourself 10% of your income. I think for a lot of people, as much as that's lovely, for some people that's really too hard. So save 1%. And you go, well, that's nothing, that won't make any difference. It will if you keep on doing it every month. So saving 1% will start you off on a little pot of financial security. And that made a huge difference to me this year, just doing that, just creating a habit of saving so that I've always got a little bit going out. Now, number 5, when I was asking you to ask your partners the could statement, and they said, well, why haven't you? And you paused and took a breath. Some of that answer that you haven't expressed could be fear, because I'm scared, actually. I'm scared of where this is going to take me. If you're scared, say yes. If you're stressed, don't answer. Don't make a decision when you're stressed. It's going to put you into way too many complicated situations. But if the root emotion is fear, just say yes. And if you've not read Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway, you should. It's an amazing book, very interesting book. Set yourself some boundaries. And they don't have to be balanced boundaries. You could have, I am going to work a 12-hour day on Monday, Wednesday and Friday, but Tuesday and Thursday I finish on time. So set yourself some boundaries and stick to them. And stick to them because the people who are around you need to know what you're doing if you're doing this with them. So if you've got children, they're not going to understand. But if you can say to them, I will be finishing at 6 and I will be there, then that gives them some understanding as to what's going on. Go with the flow. Now, everything I've told you today, you can take with a pinch of salt. And also, if you Google it, you'll find completely the opposite answer on the internet. Because whatever you want to believe, you will find evidence for. Everything I'm sharing with you today is my belief, is my truth. But when you go with the flow, it's not about pushing. It's not about driving. It's about seeing what happens. And there's loads of books out there. There's a book that I bought last year called 10X. And it's about push, drive, do. Oh. I mean, it was a nice read, but I was exhausted reading it. And although Dale and I went to see Tony Robbins for his big event, Unleash the Power, and it was great, and it was amazing, and we felt uplifted afterwards. It's rah, rah, rah. You are raving till 1 o'clock in the morning. Every time he plays the music, you've got to jump. I was exhausted. But if you go with the flow, and I put this in my blog this week, if you go with the flow, life is easier. Imagine yourself as a leaf floating down the river. There will be times when you hit a current and you are whizzing very fast. And that's when there's lots of activity in your life and you're doing stuff and you're going everywhere and everything is exciting. And then you'll drift off into a side water and you'll bob around in a little circle going nowhere for a little while. And that's okay too. And then something will change, it will rain and you'll be washed out down the river again and you'll float along. Now this doesn't mean that you are aimless or goalless because you've got the boundaries of your riverbank to go towards. And you can choose which direction to go and you can look across to that riverbank and say, I would really like to go over there, and you can look in that direction, or you can just bob along and go with the flow. But going with the flow rather than resisting, for me, is way easier than rah-ing every opportunity. It's kinder. I think that's what I learned last year. When I went and did my course in July, I didn't know what I was expecting, and I met people on that course who had waited 20 years to get on it, like I had with my nutrition, and I just kind of signed up in May and rocked up in July. It was so kind. I left there feeling in a bubble of kindness, and I just realised that everything that I've learned over the past 6 years on self-development is always, the answers are always the same. It's always this: look after yourself, have some goal, reflect, meditate, but be kind. Be kind. It's so much easier when you're kind. And that's really stuck with me. And stay true to your values. The minute that you do something that pushes you out of your value comfort zone, it's when it graunches and when you just feel uncomfortable doing it. Two of my values are integrity and fairness. If I feel that my fairness has been questioned, it really pisses me off, and it's sorry to the young ears in the back. And also if I feel that I've not had integrity in a situation, I feel very uncomfortable. But if you can get your values in place and make your decisions around those, then that's an exceptionally good way for you to be successful. However, on the subject of going with the flow, the main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing. All right, so you've got 3 main things to focus on for 90 days. And now and then, it's just good to pause in our pursuit of happiness and just be happy. Be happy anyway. Be happy for no good reason. Be happy because you can. Be happy because you've seen someone on the street and you've smiled at them and made their day. Happiness is contagious. Unfortunately, so is misery. I just want to share with you, before we go to a break, I've been talking to you about our 12-week program. This is Fiona. She did our very first Fit, Lean and Happy program, and she came wanting to change, feeling she had to change, needing a change in her life. And when I met with her, I said, out of 10, how happy would you be to stand in front of somebody in your underwear? 4 out of 10. At the end of it, I said, how now? She said, oh, you can share my pictures, I don't mind. So I think that was a result. She really got a lot from Fit, Lean and Happy. She found what worked for her. She did it. She consistently did it. And she still does it. That's it. We're not talking about a 12-week fix that you then stop. We're talking about a lifestyle change. And Fiona, I think she lost about 1.5 stone, I think. But as you can see, what she's holding, she lost double of. That's 6 pounds in fat. She lost 12 pounds in fat. We're heading to a break, but I can't send you off for a break without sharing with you one of my favourite photos this year. I was on a course when our Vanessa did her skydive, and we communicated via voicemails that basically went something along the lines of, whee! Ah! Because I was happy and she was happy. Please have a break. We're going to take 15 minutes, come back at 12:05, please. The loos are right outside. Thank you very much. Me to tell you that the quality of the foods you eat will determine the quality of the way that you feel about yourself. There's all this stuff on Facebook and social media. If you eat fast, greasy food, then you'll be fast and greasy, something like that. I don't know what you being fast is, but I think you get the general idea. And if you eat poor quality food, you're going to feel poor quality. And if you're poo-pooing that still, I'm sorry, on that one I'm going to stand firm. I mean, the quality of the food you eat will determine how you feel about yourself. And as I said earlier, if you just eat very simply vegetables, meat and fish, eggs, some nuts and some seeds, a bit of fruit, this all falls into place. But we don't do that because we get led down a path of thinking that we need to lower our cholesterol or that we need to eat something special because it's going to make our hair glow, and all that type of stuff. We are being marketed to by people who are in business. And I know I'm in business, and you might be thinking, yeah, but that's what you're doing. Yes, I am. But I want you to be the best you can be, and you don't have to buy anything from me. You really don't. However, the food marketers want you to buy their stuff. And they want you to buy it so much, they will sell it to you in excess at Christmas so you can throw it away in January. I mean, so many people have got countless chocolates and biscuits at home still. They don't need. We are marketed to excess. So start thinking about the choices of the food you're buying. And if part of your voice is saying, yeah, but my kids and my husband need it. No, they don't. They don't, really. I know it might be quite nice for them to have it and to make their own choices, but if they've got their own health issues or you've got behavioural problems with your children, it's entirely up to you how you bring up your kids. But if there's some of these things that are bothering you, if your family bucket is not full because you've got issues in that area, then maybe a family change of the diet will be something that will benefit everybody, and it can be small, and it can be gradual, and it can be beneficial. And it's not unusual for people to join Fit Camp, as usually women. Most of the chaps we've got at Fit Camp are other halves of women who've come first, and the girl's gone, you better get to that. Not always, but generally. But it's not uncommon for someone to join Fit Camp and for her to come to me 6 weeks later and say, you never guess what, my husband's lost 2 stone just by eating differently because I've fed him different stuff. Well, the ripples of healthy eating then spread out, and that's amazing. So start scribbling down, and remember, don't start getting your ego in the way. You know the answer here. Start scribbling down things you would like to change around your food and diet. Anything. You're not sharing this, by the way, so if you need to write down that you're not going to drink 4 bottles of wine a night, that's fine. Nobody is going to know. So just scribble down some areas that you would like to improve on food. And maybe this could be one of your focus points. Or maybe it will help you with one of the focus points you're working on. For example, if one of your focus points is to be fit and healthy enough to climb a mountain or something, then getting your health and your food right is going to be the right thing to do. My attitude to food is that the more natural it is, the better it is going to be for you. So if you think of the phrase JERF, J-E-R-F, just eat real food. Just eat real food. If it's in a packet, I mean, organic food aside, because they tend to wrap that to identify it, but if it's got ingredients, generally that's going to be something that's processed. Now there's some foods where there's a grey area. You've got oat cakes, you've got rice cakes, you've got naked bars. All right, so some of those things sort of fall into the healthier category. But your Special K cranberry breakfast with your skimmed milk, Cravendale, so it lasts a really long time, whatever it is has been fiddled with and manufactured to a point where it doesn't resemble what it was originally. Your food needs to resemble it in its natural form as much as possible. If you do that one thing alone, and you're not at the moment, that will make a huge difference to what you do. Those of you who know me know I have quite a strong belief in that gluten is not a good ingredient to have, but I'm not even talking going gluten-free. I'm not even talking going sugar-free particularly, or alcohol-free or anything like that. I'm just saying, eat real food and you will feel better. Make it simple. Can you eat an extra apple a day? Could you give your children a satsuma in their lunchbox every day? Could you put some berries on their cereal? Could you cut out the sugar and the artificially sweetened juices from their diet? Is it natural or was it manufactured? I'm not saying never, but actually the more you do that, the less you'll want it. And I would rather go hungry now most of the time than eat something crappy from a sandwich shop or a supermarket if I can't find anything that's nice. Conversely, also, stop thinking about meals as certain types of food. So if you're out and about at breakfast time and you can't find cereal or something with eggs and bacon, what's the stopping you having a salad? Have salad for breakfast. Have leftover dinner for breakfast. It doesn't matter. A lot of people do that. You know then it's natural and healthy and good for you, and it will last you much longer than your Special K with cranberries. Okay, so why should we make food such a big part of this? So many reasons, and this is not them all. And what I do at Fit Camp is I help people at the high level end of cleaning up your diet. And that helps for most people remove annoying problems. I'm not here to prescribe for specific conditions. I mean, Diane's in the room, she's a nutritionist, so she's the person I would refer on to for people who've got repeating problems. But if you're going to the doctor because you're tired, you have no energy, you feel a bit things aren't quite right, but you're eating rubbish, I would always say get the rubbish out first before you start thinking about taking any medication, because chances are the food change will be enough for you to start to feel better. So when you start to eat better, you improve your skin, you'll improve your sleep, you'll have improved immunity. I brag about this a lot, and one day it's going to catch me on the bum. But I haven't had a cold for about 4 years, really nothing. No cold, no cough, no tickle, nothing. And I have a salad every day. I mean, sometimes I don't have a breakfast, sometimes I don't eat a lunch, but I always have a salad. And I reckon that's the one thing it's like my vitamin pill. And it's been great. I really haven't been ill for a very long time. If you eat properly, you will manage your weight better. And by managing your weight, you'll manage your appetite. And that is key. If you've got a very sugar-rich diet, sugar-rich intake, sugar feeds sugar. And the more sugar you have, the more you'll want. And the hungrier you'll be. And I don't even just mean processed sugars, I mean things that convert quickly to sugar in your body. So if you're eating a lot of white flour foods, processed foods, things with sugar in, then you are going to have trouble managing your appetite and therefore your weight. Fertility can be improved by getting your diet sorted. You can reduce your pain. If you're eating a food that inflames you in some way and makes your knees or your back or your elbows or your neck sore, cutting those out will make a difference. Get your hormones in line. It's really, really common for females, especially, to come to Fit Camp, do the clean eating for 4 weeks and say, oh, I haven't had a hot flush for 4 weeks, or I haven't had a mood swing, or I didn't get any PMT. Food affects this stuff. We're not supposed to have PMT. That's just something that's happened as our diets got worse. We're not supposed to really get these hot flushes. I mean, if you cut sugar out of your diet, your hot flushes will diminish a lot. And unfortunately, Sue's not here today, but this time last year, Sue from my Twyford camp sat in the audience. She said, "You're a grown professional woman, Sue Davis. You can stop eating sugar. You don't need it." And she has cut sugar out of her diet. She lost over a stone just by cutting sugar out. And she said her hormones are in line, her weight is managed, her energy's up, her skin is great. And those of you who know Sue, it's really changed her. She's calmer. She's calmer. So cutting these excessive foods out, like sugars and processed foods, is great. Digestion improves. If you're not having a poo every day, something's wrong. We're going to get right down to the poo talk, but if you're not having a poo every day, something's wrong. And when doctors say, yeah, but that's just you, I'm afraid that's not right. You really should be processing every day. It helps prevent disease. We have a lot of campers who come off medication by coming to Fit Camp, and I'll talk about that a bit more later. From antidepressants to blood pressure tablets to thyroid tablets, conditions where people have been told, you're on this for life. We had one lady feel so ill, she had to go back to the doctors, and he said, oh, let me check your blood, and she didn't need any more thyroid medication because she'd cleaned up her diet and exercised so much. Improves your moods, reduces or removes disease, you get no cravings or reduced cravings, and there's this amazing relationship between your gut and your brain. Your gut is your second brain, and if you think about it, your gut is the first point of contact for your food. And if your gut isn't functioning properly, you can't digest, you can't absorb, you can't process and assimilate the food you eat. So even if you ate really good food, having eaten crap for a long time, it's going to take a little bit of a while for that to start to make a difference. But the beauty of this is that the gut cells are the quickest replacing gut cells in our body. 72 hours, and then you get a new one. Another 72 hours, you get another new one. So actually, improving your gut health is really quick. And so that's why you can start to go to the toilet more regularly. You start to feel better. And most of your serotonin, the feel-good hormone, is made in your gut, not in your brain. So if your gut isn't functioning properly, then producing that hormone is going to be really hard. All right, so serotonin production is very important, and we can help serotonin production with oxygen and sunlight. Oh, do you know what? FastTrack Fit Camp's outside. Well, fancy that. FastTrack Fit Campers are a really lovely bunch of people, and that is down to working outside. Any questions on food? I mean, food is a topic in and of itself, and we could go on about it for hours. However, if we take it down to basics and make it very simple, just eating real food will make your life so much easier. Now, I realise there's children and there's people in the house that may not want to eat real food. They might want to eat packaged food and things with pink sprinkles on the top of them. But it's a gentle, gradual process, all right? And you can do that. What I'd also suggest is that you speak positively about all foods. So even if it's a food that you don't want them to have, just allowing them occasionally. You're right there, you're sneezing or crying. Oh, okay. An occasional use is better than banning it. If you ban foods, it can cause problems. It's a big topic, this, and you're all going to have your own views on it and your own ideas. I'm not in favour, particularly, of having someone in the kitchen cooking 5 different meals for 5 different people. That's a waste of a life, and it's soul destroying. And what tends to happen is that the last meal you cook is the one that you're going to have, and you can't be bothered. So you end up having something crappy. So start reducing the number of meals you cook. Start being a little bit more efficient. Everyone has roasted vegetables, but you might have salmon, chicken and lamb. or a fish finger, or whatever it is. So that's at least some of the basics are the same. Start making your life easier, start making your relationship around food easier, because if you feel rubbish every time you walk into your own kitchen to make a meal, you're not going to want to make a nice meal. So start creating a nicer, easier place for you. My favourite beach, I discovered that 2 years ago in Scotland. It was just stunning. Look at that. You get beach, you get mountain, you get grass, you get nobody, which is lovely. I love people. I really do. I love you all. You're very special to me. But when I go away, I don't want to see any of you, all right? And that was where there was nobody. And it was, that's a blue sky in Scotland. Who knew? Exercise. We have to look after our bodies. Our bodies are designed to move. You know that. You don't want to know you know it. And for some of you, it's a real big deal. But moving your body will make a big difference to how you feel about yourself. And for most people, moving regularly is enough for them not to be as worried about the scales and what they look like in their clothes than when they weren't moving. So when you're moving, you feel confident, you feel like you've got more energy, more life, and suddenly things like whether your jeans fit or not aren't quite such a big deal. And that's really what I want for you. And on that note, actually, wear clothes that fit you. Stop buying clothes that are too small for you on the hope that you're going to get into them. Because every time you look and go, I'm a failure, I can't fit in those yet. Don't. If there's anything in your wardrobe that's too small for you, move it out and put it in the loft. If you think you're going to get into it and you really do want to get into it and it's a nice item of clothing, move it away. If you've got stuff that's too big, move it out. You don't want to see stuff that's too big, it gives you wiggle room. So, okay, it's okay, I know I've got those trousers to fit on. Have just the stuff that you like and fits you, and when you go shopping, buy clothes that fit. Stop buying stuff that doesn't fit you. And that is not somebody who does that. I don't do that. It's just a waste of your money and a waste of your time, and it makes you feel like crap. So why are we exercising? To feel better. I don't care how you exercise. I really don't. You can do whatever you like. You can walk, you can play badminton, go netball, running, circuits, horse riding, archery. Just do something that you love, all right? Do something that you really enjoy, but do it often. Do it regularly. Do it with people you like. Do it on your own. Whatever it is, make it part of what you do. When people talk about you, have them say, oh, so-and-so, the runner, or so-and-so, the person who likes rowing. Have it as part of your identity so that people know that's what you do. So when you exercise, it's very similar to food. You're going to improve your mood, improve your digestion, improve your sleep, improve your weight. You will be pain-free by strengthening your muscles to support your joints. You will help disease prevention. I don't think there's anything that exercise hasn't been shown to improve, and disease-wise, we could just list it. Every disease, they say, change your lifestyle, this will improve. Anything, girls, that you've ever seen in the surgery? Well, they've said, oh no, if you exercise, that's going to be really terrible. Even heart attacks. There's special programs for people with a heart attack. You can come off medication, you improve your muscle tone, you may not... Take a deep breath, girls. The fellas don't worry about this so much, I know, but take a deep breath. You might not lose weight, all right? The number might not change on the scales, but your clothes will be looser if you tone your muscles, and you'll tone your muscles by using them. And so suddenly you are the same weight, but you look better in the clothes you've got. Your skin improves because you're sweating it out and cleaning it all the time. Hormones are regulated. It should be enjoyable, should help you regulate your appetite. That's an interesting one. For some people, post-exercise, ravenous. Gotta eat, don't talk to me till I've eaten. Other people, couldn't eat for an hour or two. So, that's different, but it should regulate your appetite for you. Every year I do the 100-day fitness challenge, and it starts on the 23rd of September and finishes on the 31st of December. And normally I allow people, that sounds like it's a rule, it's not a rule, you can choose what you like, but normally people choose what they want to do, and they do something every day. This year the challenge was for people to go for a walk every day. It's like if you can't go for a walk, then we're probably struggling at trying to get something done every day. And for the people who stuck with it, they really got some great benefits. It improved their moods, became a habit, they felt better. And even those of them who did it every other day, or more than they would have done, got something out of it. It came at a really good time. You may have seen on the television back in September, one of the twin doctors, I kind of pronounced their surname. Do you know what it is, girls? No? Okay. One of the twin, he went out and he was talking to people who were on a lot of medication and helping them get off with getting off the meds. And one of them was depression, one of them was pain, and in all instances it was exercise. Regular exercise that you enjoy doing that makes you feel good is good. And one of the things he did there for depression was open water swimming. You know, going into the cold water, feeling invigorating. As an ex-swimmer in a swimming pool, this doesn't appeal to me very much, but I know it to be very useful. And on New Year's Day, we had a couple of campers go and swim in the sea. There's Tracy, she did it. It was cold, she said, couldn't feel her feet. But invigorating, yes? Did you feel good? Yeah. So, you know, take what you like. Find something. We're in a really lovely place around here. There's so many things you can do. If you want to open water swim, I'll put you in touch with people who do open water swimming. Actually, Jackie's daughter does a load of that.
The old swimming pool's opening up, the one in Kings Meadow.
Oh, is it? Open water. Okay, open.
It's all been made plush, but it's still an open.
Oh, an open swimming pool in Reading. There we go. That'll be nice.
All right, it's not open yet, but you sit round the outside and you can have meals and look through these huge panes.
At people swimming.
At people swimming.
That seems a bit one way to me. I think a lot of people were like that. Yeah. So find something you love. And if when you were thinking about all the things you should do, if one of them was try a new sport. We are really blessed around here, really blessed with things that you can do. Okay. Scribble down what you'd like to do about changing how you focus on your activity. Whilst you're writing down, I'm going to tell you about FastTrack Fit Camp. I feel I can. You're here for free. I'm going to give you 2 minutes about FastTrack Fit Camp. FastTrack Fit Camp is outdoor group fitness. This is not muddy boot camp. There's no ropes, no nets, no mud. What there is a bunch of people who want to feel better. They like exercising, but they don't want to do it in a gym. They don't particularly want music, and they just want to get on with it, get it done, and go home. Each session is 45 minutes long. And it's HIIT training, high intensity interval training. So it's really good at improving your stamina. If you're already a runner, it will help you with your stamina and your speed. It will help your endurance, it will help your strength, and it will help your aerobic fitness and your fat burning. It's quick. The sessions are, you might be exercising no more than 30 to 45 seconds on any one exercise, but it's not easy. You can make it as hard as you wish. And Duncan has been with us since day one, will testify to that. You put into it whatever you can, and the more you put in, the more you'll get out. People who feel that Fit Camp is easy aren't putting the effort in, because you can always put more effort in. You can put your 1% in more and get more out of it. However, if you want a supportive environment where there's people doing the same thing as you, who are happy just to move and to feel like tick the box for exercise, we do that too. And there'll be groups of people in each group that do that. We can give you dietary advice if you want it. I try and drip feed it in. For some people, it's just not interested, and that's fine. And it really is better than any antidepressant. We're a nice bunch of people. Maybe not when I'm in the session. You might not like me. But when at the end of the session, you're always glad. And that picture is one of our group photos at the end of one of our charity camps last year. We were raising money for Sharon and breast cancer now. And we did that, if you're not sure, is the breast cancer ribbon. We tried to do boobs, but that just did not work well at all. They were odd, very odd. So what do people say about Fit Camp? And these are some of the things that people have said over the years. Thank you for giving me my life back. Now, that sounds quite deep and over the top, but actually more than one person has said that they were really at their lowest point in their life, and coming and finding a place that suited them has saved their life. Now that's not me, that's them making the decision to do it, but they found the thing that helped them enough. So if you're looking for something, it might not be Fit Camp, but find the thing that's going to give you your life back. Someone else said it's been brilliant for improving my fitness levels and it's been challenging but so much fun. I'm not the fun one, all right? I'm not the fun one. I want you to come in, do it, get a good workout and go home. If you want fun, go to Early Risers. Go and see Karen. She'll talk to you about the fact she's got 9 layers on, that she's very cold, that her hair extensions are falling out, that she broke a nail. Oh, and can you do 15 burpees? She's nutty. She is the extreme to me, all right? But if you want fun, Karen's your girl. And we've got 2 other coaches as well who are brilliant, Vicky and Kirsty. And we've got Laura as well who helps. After the second session of Fit Camp, I already felt amazing, and by the end of the 4 weeks, I couldn't believe my fitness and energy levels. That's quite normal for people. They can't believe how much they can improve in such a short space of time. You know, people come to Fit Camp and they can't do 30 seconds of jump jacks to start with, but by the end of week 2, they can. And that is, we're only doing 30 seconds every now and then. It's not every session's jump jacks, so that's pretty impressive. I've now dropped 3 dress sizes since starting Fit Camp and totally kicked my tea and biscuits habit. So that's the kind of thing that people say. Then I get messages like this. At the end of a fitness test, this person left her very first session crying, and I thought I was never going to get her back. And that was 12 weeks later. So that is amazing. I was going to keep you anonymous, Jan, but well done, thank you. So why do you need to focus on your mind? Why is your mental health important? Because your mental health will get you the results you want. If this is grey and black, and I'm sure there's plenty of people in here who have been through or experiencing depression, this is not a nice place to be. But if we can help lift that and clear the black clouds, then I feel like I've really helped people. And your mind is a really part of the big picture for your results on what you're going to focus on for the next 90 days. So I'd like you to take full and absolute responsibility for everything from now on. Everything. Even if you've got kids and you're in a marriage and there's 2 of you, you personally still take full responsibility. Because if your partner does the same, what an amazing result. You really do get what you focus on. How many people do you know says, oh, it always happens to me? Yeah, it does, because you're always thinking it's always going to happen to you, so it always does. The people who you go, God, you're so lucky. How come you're so lucky? Because I believe I'm going to be lucky. Change your thoughts. Change your thoughts. Louise Hay, the course I did last year, said a thought is just a thought. You can change it. You can change it. And I can tell you that you can change it because once upon a time you believed in Santa. And I bet you don't now.
Excuse me, so what?
I know it's hard. So there's our Tony Robbins quote, what's wrong is always available, but so is what's right. You are complete control how you react and feel. So when someone says something to you, you control your response to them. If you get flared up by it, that's not because of what they said, it's because of how you've reacted. And Tony Robbins tells of a story of how there were twin boys who were brought up by an alcoholic and drug-riddled father, and one son went off to be amazingly successful and healthy because he didn't want to be like that, and the other son went down the same route as his dad. So you can't even base it on your genetics. It's on the choices you make and the decisions you make. You always have a choice in every moment to change how you feel and react. And I love this. You'll tolerate what you'll put up with. What are you putting up with? How could you raise your level of tolerance so that actually this is a bit better place to be? Raise it again, this is a bit better place to be. Be happy for no good reason. I love that quote. And do you know what? It's your right to be successful. It's your right to be happy. It's your right to be rich. It's your right to be whatever you want to be. So any of those beliefs that you wrote down that said, oh, I don't know. People from Tilehurst can't be rich. I mean, I'm just making stuff up now, all right? So, of course, who told you that? It's your right. You can have whatever you want. It's your right to be happy, successful, rich, wealthy, in love, with a family, on your own, traveling the world, whatever. Do what makes you happy and suspend all disbelief and skepticism around this. Because inside your head's going, yeah, but not for me. Yeah, it's all right for you to say. I'm no different to you. I'm no different to Bill Gates as you are. But I'm not him. I haven't raised my level to that point. We're all the same. We all come with the same stuff. We can all do the same things. So suspend disbelief around what you are capable of, because you will be able to do it. If you need to write notes around anything on that, about your focus, time to scribble as I just move my pages along. And if you can change your perception of the world will change around you. It really is that simple. So when you are down in the dumps, how do you change? And you just need a bit of a mood overhaul system, and you can do this in any way, but songs, videos, photos, albums, dancing, exercise, drinking fizzy water, sitting on your bench in the garden with a coffee, meditating. Find something that's going to change your mood. If your pictures on your phone make your heart sing, look at the pictures on your phone. If you've got YouTube videos, have you seen that one of the Quinn boys laughing with their mum? There's 5 little baby boys, or maybe even 6, all lying around their mum in bed, just laughing. You can't help but laugh at these little boys laughing with their mum. Cats, oh my God, cat videos. Brilliant. Oh, ration into our cats. Anything. I can't watch those videos where people hurt themselves. They don't make me laugh. I go, oh, it's too much like that. But things that make me laugh, I like photos. Have them around your workspace, if you're able to. Pictures of your kids or flowers. If your kids are annoying you, have another one. Maybe have it on swivel. Nice picture of kids, nice picture of Scotland. All right. Because sometimes they might bring up a feeling that you don't want, so you need to change. You need to know how to change your mood, because you are in control of it. Quickly scribble down some things that you think would make you happy in an instant if you did them. All right, because you need to have some strategies here to walk away from today. So if you're in a bad place or someone's pissed you off, what are you going to do in an instant that will keep you to your focus for your 90 days? It's not about eating Haribo. No, you could, cross the wine out. Cross the Haribo. It's about being focused, about getting the results you want on the focus areas that you want. And alongside that, if you can, and you know the areas that will push you to the point where you might need to do this, start identifying when you're going to get a little bit niggly. Is it traffic? Is it running late? Is it being hungry? Is it not being prepared? Is it the husband? I mean, whatever. Find and start looking at ways to mitigate those situations. I'm not saying pander to people. I'm saying be prepared. Be ready. Have your armour on. Be ready so that you can deal with it and you know what to do. Take control. So, I'm going to ask you to write yourself a letter. On your chair, there was a piece of paper and an envelope. I've started it off for you because I want you to write on there your 3 points of focus for the next 90 days. All right? Now I want to assure you, first of all, the envelopes are rubbish. The envelopes are not going to seal. Don't even try to lick them. They're just useless. However, Nia and I will not read them. We won't read them. I want you to write this, and then what will happen is you're going to fold it up, put it in the envelope, and put your name and address on it, because at some point we're going to send it back to you. All right? And we're going to send it back to you when we feel is the right time. So I'm not going to tell you when it's going to be. It will be the right time. It will either be, because I'm going to use my intuition, I believe that I'm going to know when to send you yours. It might be that you've swayed a bit and you get the letter and you go, oh, thank you. Or it might be at the end and you can look back at what you've done. So I'd like you to start, first of all, is filling in the letter, the 90-day 3-point focuses of the 3 points of focus over 90 days, what you're going to do, how it will make you feel. And if you finish that, there's one underneath which gives you a general overview for the year. And really what I want you to do on that is to write it as though it's happened. How will you feel once it's happened? You're kind of writing to yourself to congratulate yourself for having done it. So I'm going to give you 6 minutes. 6 minutes. If you finish before, please put your hand in the air and we'll take the letter from you so we know you're done. No, there's a second page. That's all right. Just right in here. Yeah, that's right. So when you're done, put it in the envelope, put your name and address on the front, hold it up, and Nia will take it from you. Oh, it's a door seal. Fancy that? Yeah. Crikey. Well, if they can, but they won't. It won't seal. No. They're just rubbish. There's no glue. We'll stick them down. Don't worry, we'll stick them down. We won't look at them. Hands up when you're done. Yeah, if you can do the bottom one as well. So how you want to be in December. How you would like your life to have been this year. Two minutes. 1 minute. If you don't finish, don't worry, we can take them at the end, but I want to carry on. So 1 minute to go. Okay, finish up the sentence you're writing. If you've not done, we can finish later. It's not a problem. It's not a problem. Okay, ladies and gents. I just want to share with you some feedback that we had from a special program I did towards the end of last year. On the back of me doing my life transforming, crying every day, getting through tissues like no one's business course, I came back and integrated it into Fit Camp. And actually, how we ran it was fine, and I was proud of it, but I won't be doing it like that again. But I wanted to share with you some of the things that were said about it and what I'm going to do with that information now. So every week, the ladies on the course would come to a classroom session, and we'd have 2 hours of face-to-face values and beliefs stuff going on, digging up stuff from the past. They cried a lot as well. They made good friends with each other, and they realised that actually we're all very similar when it comes down to it. But this is some of the things that people said. I'm so pleased to have been with this group, an amazing group of ladies who have been so supportive. It incredibly is. When you're dealing with people at that level, at that raw, visceral, emotional level as to what makes you tick, and helping you to let some of it go, you can't help but become friends with people. The greatest thing that I've learned is that I'm good enough. That is powerful stuff. Most of the reasons that we don't do what we want is that we don't think we're good enough. And if you can get to the point where you feel you're good enough, imagine how much taller you'd stand and how you'd walk. Being more mindful and using affirmations have helped. I'm changing it to a program called Fit, Strong and Happy. I changed lean. I've decided that lean wasn't useful because you don't have to be lean to be fit or happy, and strong has a double meaning. It means strong of mind and strong of body. And at Fit Camp you can get strong even if you are not the weight you feel you should be or could be. It's 12 weeks of unlimited access to Fit Camp. There'll be 4 additional extra Sunday morning sessions just for the group, and 3 sessions over the 12 weeks of the classroom stuff, the nitty-gritty Kleenex stuff, all right? It's teary, but it's really useful, and you start to find out how you tick, and that's 2 hours on a Sunday afternoon. It's ladies only at the moment. It's not that I don't want to help men, it just works, and most of my clients are women. However, if you are a man and it's the kind of thing you feel you need some help with, please do let me know. You get a one-to-one fortnightly coaching call, food diary monitoring, one-to-one personal consultation with me once a month, and it starts on the 23rd of January and it finishes on Easter Sunday. It's £159 a month. If you go to a gym or go for a personal trainer, you're looking at £50 an hour. What we offer at Fit Camp is as good as that, and in many ways better, because you get the consistency and you get the support along the way. If you decide that you're interested in this today, and it is by application, I don't accept everybody, if you express an interest today, then you'll get a 10% discount. Once you've left the room and this event is over, that 10% won't apply. I want to be fair to everybody else we offer this to. If you've already expressed an interest, that applies. What do other people say? Spending time exploring where some of the unhelpful beliefs about food and body image have come from has been invaluable to enabling me to take control and start to change them. So if you feel that food and your body image is controlling your life, then this is the type of stuff that we're unhooking. Using affirmations and meditation are tools that have given me a sense of positivity and composure. The power of focusing on what's in my control and how I want to feel about situations is immense. You can control what you want to happen as much as you can control how you react about something. And then realising that other people have similar, identical issues, and that by listening to what their ideas are on how to move forward has inspired me and encouraged me to do the same. And actually, this next one, so rather than doing it over 10 weeks as part of Fit Camp, I'm running it as a 2-day workshop. And this is effectively what I went on a course to learn to run. So I did the 2-day workshop myself, and now I'm going to be running it for you. It's a transformational workshop, and this is for men and women. And this is not part of the Fit, Strong and Happy. If you do this, it will really set you up for Fit, Strong and Happy. But this is an independent course on its own. You don't have to be doing Fit Camp. You can just attend this and disappear. It's transformational. It's based on the works of Louise Hay. She's 12 or something. I mean, she's a very old lady now. But since the age of 40, she has been using these techniques on herself and with others. And it is kind, and it's the best thing I've ever done. And I want to share it. So it will help you to feel happier, be more confident, and it helps you release the baggage from your past. There are 20 places for that event, and if you book today, it's 10% off, which would make it 224 and 10p rather than 247. That includes the VAT. All right, we're VAT registered, so we have to put that on. That's healed enough. It'll be 9 to 5:30 or 9:30 to 5:30, yeah. And that's in Swallowfield at a place called the Renewal Centre. It's a lovely venue. This one sums it up. This course really changed my way of thinking, and I still think the best analogy to the change in my mindset is that I feel like a huge weight pressing down on me has been released. I feel like I have emptied my rucksack of a load of bricks. I walk taller and lighter. I still use the image of the steps regularly. The future is up, so leave your bags at the bottom. Many people have noticed the change in me or said I look well and I feel much more peaceful. This comes from a woman, 43 years old, 2 children, full career. This is just like you, but she really feels transformed. So, is this the right time for you? Would you like a consultation? Would you like a trial? Would you like to be involved in one of those activities? And if you do or you don't, it doesn't matter. But this is my opportunity to share it with you. That is my favourite photo from last year. That was our second charity event that we did. Last year I decided to do a year of giving back, and February was for British Heart Foundation. And I just had this nutty idea that we could create a heart, and if everyone wore red, it'd be lovely. And Dale's drone took the picture, and I've got a picture of that on my wall. And that just sums up Fit Camp in a nutshell. And that's all of the camps from last year where we raised money. We raised over £3,000 for 12 charities, and it was amazing. Look at everybody doing their stuff. It's all colourful. What I love about Fit Camp is how colourful it is. I mean, it's fabulous. I know I said no fancy lycra, but there isn't. This here is our comic relief day, to wear your pants over your trousers, and they've all got showing you their bums. Because it was so successful, I've asked my clients again who they would like to support this year. And so we're starting off January with Thames Hospice, which is for Denise. And Denise asked me to do this last year, and I didn't really have it in my schedule. So Thames Hospice will be our first family charity camp of this year, 29th of January. Our Sunday sessions are open for all. Anybody can come. You don't have to have a membership. And on a Sunday, a charity day, all monies go to the charity. So come along, wear some green. It's in Winnersh, and we're going to have our first kick-off charity for the new year. Now, I'm nearly done, and I know you probably want to go. However, there's one thing that has really evolved at FastTrack since I started, and it was never the reason that I set the business up. However, I have realised that we help a lot of people who are sad, depressed, anxious, are in a very dark place. And one of my favourite stories is of the other Heidi. We have another Heidi. There aren't many of us, but we're very special. And that Heidi there is in the middle. And even that picture is an epic experience, because Heidi's an artist, didn't want her own photo on Facebook, put all her artwork in her profile picture, which is lovely. It's brilliant artwork. If you've ever had a Christmas card from me, that's Heidi's doing. However, when she put that picture up, I knew we'd got somewhere. That picture became a profile picture. So what I'd like to share with you is something that Heidi wrote for me a few years ago. And she's here today, so if you want to speak with her and ask her about this, please do. But this is on my website. She's more than open, more than happy to discuss it. I was diagnosed with severe depression over 10 years ago, and as depression does, it consumed my life. On a couple of occasions, it nearly claimed my life. I was just existing, not living. I found no joy in anything. Everything was a struggle. A little bit more, but since Fit Camp, I've dropped 4 dress sizes, and I'm no longer taking antidepressants. I forgot to take them as I was feeling so good. Somebody who'd been taking them for 10 years forgot to take them. That made me cry, because that is a real win for someone who has decided to change their life. When I actually realised this, I cried happy tears because I never thought it would happen. She says, if you're suffering from depression and thinking that this is made up and you can't do it, it's not made up. I'm living proof that it can be done. I know how crippling depression can be. I know that it can smother you and leave you feeling empty and alone. And I also know that it's a constant struggle. FastTrack Fit Camp is the best thing I've done in years, and it's totally changed my life in more ways than one. That testimonial and learning that she'd stopped taking her tablets changed everything for me, and my focus became much more on that than just getting people in a field doing jump jacks. Great, I love it if you want to just get fit for keeping fit reasons, but to get that is amazing. And so last year, one of the charities I supported was Sport in Mind, and I learnt of them completely by chance. They're Reading based, and they help people with depression get back into sport and exercise, and I now do a class for them once a week. And if Fit Camp isn't for you, or you can't afford it, or it's not the right time, contact Sport in Mind, but you want to do it, contact Sport in Mind, because you can access us through them. But a bigger project this year, and I'm actually delighted that Ali's here today. There's a big project next year called Brighter Berkshire, and it's the Year of Mental Health. And it's a community-led initiative that is helping to lower the stigma around depression and anxiety in the Berkshire area, to try to pull everybody together. All these people doing things on their own, it's pulling it together en masse. And I'm delighted to be supporting that. And actually, Ali's here. If anybody has any interest in this, in supporting through your workplace, if you're in HR and you see it in your workplace or you want to help, then I'm sure Ali would love to speak to you. It's a big project, and I'll be talking more about it as we go through the year. I showed this one last year, but actually it's the only one I have of them that's the most current, because they keep buggering off. And as much as I told you I wanted them to go, I miss them terribly. However, sorry, they make me so proud. Laura is at the arse end of nowhere in New Zealand. She's on the South Island, driving tractors, milking cows. I mean, she's got the most amazing life, and she's confident and she's happy. And if she never gets a job, I don't care, because she's happy. And Sophie is living her dream. Sophie wants to be an actress, so she's doing theatre studies at Leeds, and she's going to go and do other stuff. How amazing is that your kids can get what they want to do? I'm so sorry. Taking myself by surprise. I feel that's a job well done for them and for me and for Dale. I've got some recommended reading for you. This is an amazing book. If you want to set your life up every single day, or set your life up every single day, that makes sense, by getting your morning ritual in place, this is the book. It's epic. It's several things you need to do every day. I spoke about it last year. It's meditation, it's exercise, it's contemplation, it's thinking about what you want, it's visualization. It's a really easy to read book. Get that book, it will change your life. And that's my favourite place in my garden. Okay, I'd like you to put everything down, put it on the floor. I'd like you to sit comfortably. And I'd like you to think about what you've written down today. You've got your I know we've given them back to you, but you must want them enough to know what you've written down, right? So I want you to think about your 3 focus points and the bigger umbrella for your 2017. I'd like you to close your eyes. Trust me on this. I'm just going to talk you through a visualization. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Let your shoulders relax. Let your hands relax on your lap. And feel comfortable and safe. And let your breathing be slow and steady. And I want you to think about your 3 focus points for the next 90 days. Remember why you want them. Remember why this is important to you. And think about how it forms the bigger picture for your year. I want you to think about how you will feel at the beginning of April, having achieved those 3 focus points. Create the feeling. Will it be satisfaction? Will it be excitement? Will it be contentment? I want you to feel how it will feel when you've done this. And then turn that up by 1%. Just enhance that feeling. And as you're sitting there, just think about what the next step you need to do is. You don't need to know it all. You just need to know what step next. Is it a trip to the shops? Is it sorting your diary out? Is it having a chat with someone? What do you need to do to move this forward? And then move forward in time again to the end of the 90 days and think about how you'll feel when you get there. What does this mean? Where can this take you? And then if you could imagine that you could rise up above that moment in time at the beginning of April and look forward to the end of the year, I want you to take yourself to the end of December 2017 and imagine how you'll feel then. What do you want to have achieved? Why is this important? Why is it really important? And do you have enough want power to get there? Keep your eyes closed. I'm just going to read you a little tiny extract about attitude. The longer I live, the more I realise the impact of attitude on life. Attitude, to me, is more important than facts. It is more important than the past, than education, than money, than circumstances, than failures, than successes, and than what other people think, say, or do. It is more important than appearance, giftedness, or skill. It will make or break a company, a church, or a home. The remarkable thing is that we have a choice every day regarding the attitude we embrace for that day. We cannot change our past. We cannot change the fact that people act in a certain way. We cannot change the inevitable. The only thing we can do is play the one string we have, and that is our attitude. I am convinced that life is 10% what happens to me and 90% how I react to it. And so it is with you. We are in charge of our attitudes. When you're ready, you can open your eyes. "2 minutes over." Oof, that hurts, that does. A little bit late, so I'm sorry about that. However, thank you so much for coming today. I want you to have an amazing year, all right? Keep in touch. Share what you've learned today or what you feel about today on social media. You can tag FastTrack Fit Camp, you can tag me, Heidi Strickland-Clark, or you can find us as FastTrack FC on Twitter. My goal for you is to be happy every single day, whatever the scales say. So go and do it. Thank you very much.